I eat duck. How old are you?
12.
Oh, okay. Only to 10.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Children and pineapple.
Cake is to have the consistency of young human flesh.
It's spongy, it has life to it.
You're with a guy with brightly colored undergarments, and you got soft human flesh in front of you. You're in a weird place.
I'm looking forward to this. This is really, really going to be great.
And there's two parts to Oprah Winfrey that I haven't really spoken about publicly. The other part with Oprah Winfrey is, yeah, you let me get thrown under the bus and you said nothing. The other part is you mess with my family. You mess with my mother, my father. She called me about my brother, right?
I was, needless to say, devastated and really shaken to my core when I first heard this news. And I spoke to all the girls personally, and I encouraged all of them, any of them who had actually been harmed, to please come forward.
So freaking mean to me. I was in shock.
Do you take responsibility for the situation that you're in right now?
100%.
100%.
100%. I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her. And she pretty much reprimanded me.
Find out who did it?
Yeah, I knew who did it shortly after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are now where?
Oh, the guy who actually shot me is dead.
Yeah, how do you put someone in jail and you don't even name the clients? That sounds kind of insane. There was a lot of people that met with him and did business with him and traveled with him after he was arrested.
Joe Rogan had just discovered that Epstein might never have been the real monster in the shadows, only a disposable front for someone far more dangerous pulling invisible strings. And if that realization wasn't unsettling enough, it took almost no time before he stumbled onto something even stranger, his own name buried deep inside the Epstein records. And honestly, the reaction hit exactly the way yours probably did just now. Hold on, seriously? But here's where the story turns sideways. His name wasn't there because he ever visited. His name wasn't there because he ever agreed. Years earlier, in 2017, people connected to Epstein reached out through one of Rogan's podcast guests, a respected physicist, quietly asking if Joe might consider meeting Epstein. Rogan searched the name online and immediately saw the 2008 conviction involving a minor. And the response he gave was exactly the blunt reaction anyone familiar with him would expect. Are you out of your mind? What nonsense is this?
The files for not going.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm in the files for not going. Jeffrey Epstein was trying to meet with me.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
No, thanks.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad?
Yeah, but I would have never went anyway. It's like, it's not even a possibility that I would have ever went.
But
especially after I Googled him. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? This was like 2017. One of my guests was trying to get me to meet him. I was like, are you high? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Smart instinct. But here's the truth. What Rogan uncovered afterward, once he truly started digging through those records, stunned him on a completely different level. Because Epstein was never the real mastermind. He wasn't controlling anything. There were figures above him, influential people, untouchable people, names the authorities seemed determined to bury inside those pages. And when Rogan started tracing the links, what he said next felt chilling. Stick around because by the end of this story, you'll understand exactly what he saw. On January 30th, 2026, the Department of Justice released the largest evidence drop ever connected to the Epstein investigation. Nearly 3 million documents, 180,000 photographs, and 2,000 videos suddenly opened to the public. The internet exploded instantly. Everyone searched for answers. Who visited the island? Who showed up? Who knew everything? But almost immediately, people noticed something that made the entire situation feel even darker. The most critical names, the ones that actually mattered, were hidden, removed, completely wiped away. And when two lawmakers, one Republican and one Democrat, tried forcing those identities into the open, one of them stepped forward and warned, this makes Watergate look small.
They eat, that is not bullshit. It's true.
You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
Someone is stroking your... It feels good.
Something strange is going on with Oprah Winfrey's South African school for girls. Started spreading rumors that girls are disappearing from the school. According to these rumors, several students from the school have gone missing.
In this video, you're going to discover exactly who stood above Epstein. You'll learn why their names were concealed, and you'll see why Joe Rogan, a man who has interviewed billionaires, presidents, and celebrities, described what he found in those records as truly demonic. Let's begin. Before we continue, you need the essential background because none of what you're seeing now makes sense without knowing how this story started. Music. Jeffrey Epstein was a wealthy financier. He owned a secluded island in the Caribbean, a mansion in Manhattan, and a private jet that eventually became known as the Lolita Express. And he maintained relationships, serious relationships with some of the most influential figures in the world. In 2008, he was convicted of soliciting a minor for prostitution. And here's what outraged so many observers. He secured an unusually light deal, only 13 months inside a minimum security facility with daily work release privileges. Legal officials later described it as one of the most favorable agreements ever recorded. Then in 2019, he was arrested once more, this time facing federal sex trafficking charges connected to numerous victims. And before the case could reach trial, he was found dead inside his jail cell, officially ruled a suicide. But even now, many people, including forensic experts, remain unconvinced.
Look at your total conspiracy catalog of things that you like to dive into, outside of aliens, because everybody knows that. What are your other ones that you like?
Well, aliens is the most fun one.
Yeah.
This is the one that I hate the most.
Yeah.
Because this one scares the shit out of me. Because the fear of, we talked about this yesterday with Roger Avery, the fear of these literally demonic human beings that are running the world and don't give a fuck about human lives and enjoy watching people being tortured, enjoy watching people killed, participating in ritual sacrifice of people, and they do it in order to show that you're a part of a team. And we know that has always historically been a real thing, and it's been something that you look at in history. You go, God, it's so sick, it's so twisted, it's so disgusting, and everybody wants to think, thank God that's not happening now. But then when you realize that might have been happening now.
Years, survivors, reporters, and ordinary citizens demanded one thing: release the full records. Show us the truth. Show us the identities. At the beginning of 2026, they received only a partial answer. More than 3 million documents were released publicly. But here's the problem. Huge sections of the material remained redacted, still hidden, still locked away. Which brings us back to Joe Rogan and why his reaction carries real weight. Rogan isn't just a podcaster. He's one of the most widely heard voices in the world. He's interviewed tech billionaires on his show. He's spent time with celebrities. He's connected with people who hold real influence. So when someone with that kind of reach sits down, studies these documents, and says this terrifies me, truly demonic human beings are controlling the world and couldn't care less about ordinary lives.
Are Salvatore Navora, Zorab Mikoladze, Leopig Leonor, Nicola Caputa, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, CEO of Dubai Ports World, and billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner, who was labeled as a co-conspirator by the FBI.
Started on February 11th, 2026. Joe Rogan was recording a podcast episode with his guest, actress Cheryl Hines, who is married to RFK Jr., another figure whose name appears inside the Epstein records. And right there during the conversation, Rogan dropped the revelation. My name is in those files. The internet exploded instantly. People panicked. Joe Rogan was connected to Epstein, but Rogan immediately set the record straight. My name is in the files because I refuse to...
Look at your total conspiracy catalog of things that you like to dive into, outside of aliens, because everybody knows that. What are your other ones that you like?
Well, aliens is the most fun one.
Yeah.
This is the one that I hate the most.
Yeah.
Because this one scares the shit out of me. Because the fear of, we talked about this yesterday with Roger Avery, the fear of these literally demonic human beings that are running the world and don't give a fuck about human lives and enjoy watching people being tortured, enjoy watching people killed, participating in ritual sacrifice of people, and they do it in order to show that you're a part of a team. And we know that has always historically been a real thing, and it's been something that you look at in history. You go, God, it's so sick, it's so twisted, it's so disgusting, and everybody wants to think, thank God that's not happening now. But then when you realize that might have been happening now.
In 2017, a physicist named Lawrence Krauss, one of Rogan's earlier podcast guests, sent him a message. Epstein had contacted Krauss, pushing him to arrange an introduction. The note read something like, I hear he's entertaining. Could you set up a meeting? Rogan's reaction. He searched Epstein's name online, saw the 2008 conviction, and instantly rejected it. His exact reply was, man, are you crazy? What the hell are you saying? That gut reaction protected him. But what he uncovered afterward while digging through those 3 million pages is what changed everything for him. Because this story isn't really about Epstein at all. Epstein was just the mask, the doorway, the middle connection in a much larger network. The real question is who stood above him. Let me tell you something that should make you genuinely furious. When those 3 million documents dropped, officials told the public, "We removed names to protect the victims." Sounds reasonable, right? Protect the people who suffered. But here's the problem. Lawmakers traveled to the DOJ to examine the unredacted versions. Thomas Massie, a Republican, and Rowena, a Democrat, co-sponsored the Epstein Files Transparency Act together. They wanted to uncover everything.
A whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be, because the whole place can't be like, Weird Town, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill. And it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like. Could it? And then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real.
Oprah Winfrey is supposed to be untouchable. Or at least that's the image most media narratives keep protecting. One moment she's linked to Jeffrey Epstein, and the next she's praising Mariah Carey like someone just mentioned J.Lo instead. And then her connection to Harvey Weinstein somehow disappeared into silence the way uncomfortable family secrets usually do.
Then why they were choosing specific people for the Me Too stuff?
Yeah.
The documentaries? Because we got the president has those accusations. No one has a documentary on the president.
Right.
And as far as entertainment is concerned, I thought Weinstein was bigger than the other guys in entertainment that we see there. Those other guys are just easy victims.
For years, Hollywood shielded Oprah like she was untouchable. But now 50 Cent is speaking openly about the one subject they kept completely buried, and that is what allegedly happened inside her African school. To be fair, 50 Cent has been calling out Oprah for years, so none of this really shocks anyone considering what the media ignored about that supposedly elite academic paradise, the all-girls academy she built in South Africa.
You have a dog named Oprah.
Yeah.
I consider that a compliment,
Yeah, I
whether
love
you
her.
meant it to be one or not.
I love you. You know what they say, a dog's a man's best friend?
Yeah, I know. I have had 22 dogs in my life. I have 5 right now. Okay, but you named your dog Oprah. That was not the compliment.
Yeah, I had a cat. I got a cat too.
Name?
Gail. I was just looking for real cute names for.
According to these rumors, several students from the school have gone missing. But as of right now, nobody is sure why these rumors have started, as there is currently no news reporting that there have been missing girls at Oprah's school. Regardless, these rumors have managed to go viral all over TikTok and Twitter, and they continue to be spread to this day.
All right, everybody knows 50 Cent has never bothered hiding his resentment toward anyone, no matter their status or reputation. Oprah never supported 50 Cent from the earliest days of his rise. When his popularity and records started climbing the charts, 50 Cent pushed hard for an interview with Oprah so he could reshape his reputation from former drug dealer into someone respected across the industry. But when his representatives contacted Oprah, she rejected it immediately without discussion. She disliked his music, and even more, she simply didn't respect him personally. And exactly like he tends to do, 50 Cent took it very seriously. He attacked Oprah publicly and claimed that while he was speaking to younger audiences, Oprah was busy appealing to older white women. He even named his dog after her and went as far as comparing her to an Oreo black on the outside and white on the inside. That alone said plenty. He said she stood firmly against everything represented in his music. She ain't never going to have me on that show. I'm never going to reach that stage, which proves you've made it big. So he finally answered, fine, if we can't be allies, we can be rivals. Then the interview eventually happened in 2012, and insiders say it wasn't because Oprah suddenly warmed up to him. No, powerful executives pressured her into agreeing. And during that period, 50 was incredibly famous, and Oprah finally hosting him became a massive moment.
Where were you shy?
In my hands, my legs several times, like 5 times in my hands, and then in my legs, and then in my face. Yeah, so when going through that experience, when you get hurt that bad, either your fear consumes you or you become a bit insensitive. So just after...
Even after the interview, 50 Cent never walked back a single word because it wasn't just Oprah rejecting him that fueled his anger. It was what he believed were the disturbing things she had done, not only toward him, but toward other black celebrities while presenting herself as a humanitarian and a voice for justice. Like, do you remember the interview she did with Dave Chappelle? That had to be one of the most uncomfortable moments to watch. Oprah used every tactic she had trying to push him into admitting drug use after news broke that he turned down a $50 million deal with Comedy Central. It was said the situation became so intense that Dave feared for his safety because he refused to sign the agreement. When he sat across from Oprah, Dave thought he was speaking with someone who understood the pressures of the industry. But honestly, the only thing Oprah seemed connected to was the sound of money hitting her accounts, since she worked hard to make him look like the difficult one and frame him as unstable.
I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
I wasn't walking away from the money. I was walking away from the circumstances with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14. I've heard the stories, seen these kinds of things play out in front of me. I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
When Monique was locked in her feud with Oprah over being blackballed from the industry because she refused to work without pay, 50 Cent became one of the rare celebrities willing to defend her publicly, declaring, "I know Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry never meant to keep using their power to destroy Monique's career, and this situation has dragged on far too long. Now would be the right time to apologize because I'm bringing her back."
So Tyler Perry says to me, "Listen, you may really want to consider promoting this film, because if you get nominated for an Oscar award, your next film is $3 to $5 million. And if you win it, your next film is $6 to $8 million. I said, "Tyler, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. Where do they pay those type of salaries, brother?" I said, "What I cannot do, Tyler, is work for free. I've done what I was supposed to do. I cannot go overseas and do this for free, Tyler." So then he goes on about his spiel, you know. I said, "Well, listen, you can write me the check for me to go overseas. I don't care where the money comes from, but I'm not gonna do it for free." He says, "Well, I don't believe in giving money away for free." I said, "I don't believe in working for free, so we're on the same page."
And the biggest scandal surrounded the elite girls' academy she established in South Africa. When reports surfaced that Oprah had turned away from her privileged world to build a school for girls across the ocean, the media practically crowned her a saint. They elevated her as if she embodied pure generosity and the perfect symbol of a black billionaire giving back to her roots. And of course, Oprah embraced the spotlight, making appearances everywhere, proudly talking about how groundbreaking the institution would become. But once the truth about the school started coming out, Oprah put up a barrier like the place had never even mattered. Almost immediately after the academy opened, the dorm supervisor, Virginia Mekapu, was hit with 14 counts of abuse and physical mistreatment.
Trial of a former dormitory matron charged with abusing 6 students at Oprah Winfrey School for Girls in South Africa is resuming. Prosecutors say former dorm matron Tina Virginia Makopo tried to kiss and fondle the girls. She's also accused of kicking and hitting some of them. Makopo pleaded innocent to 14 charges of indecent assault, and criminal injury in South Africa.
Oprah flew to South Africa to deliver a personal apology and remove the matron from her position. She promised there would be reforms and insisted that something like that would never be allowed to happen at the school again.
They didn't use the word sexual abuse. They implied that something inappropriate was going on. Hearing that, John Samuel, immediately after hearing that allegation, removed the accused, Tiny Makopo, from the campus. I was, needless to say, devastated and really shaken to my core when I first heard this news.
Completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and He's waving a gun on the street screaming, they're trying to me.
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. Bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough.
By 2011, a newborn was discovered hidden inside a student's bag after she secretly carried the pregnancy without anyone knowing. Then rumors started spreading that girls were disappearing from the academy. Oprah was already being linked to Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein. So students going missing at her school definitely wasn't a good look for her reputation. So the administration allegedly tried to silence the situation as much as possible, even though the details eventually surfaced anyway. Now, none of this was ever confirmed, but the rumors never fully disappeared. And now, with the whole Diddy situation unfolding, celebrities are being exposed everywhere. 50 Cent is reportedly preparing to target Oprah next. He already said he plans to produce more documentaries about powerful figures, and one of them is rumored to focus on the Big O and her hidden controversies, and people want that school included. I've always believed Oprah built that girls' academy in Africa for one purpose: the elites. Because right after the students arrived, suddenly disappearances, abuse, and worse. Notice how nobody ever talks about it. Oprah's private jet supposedly landed on Epstein's island 11 different times. What really happened to the girls who allegedly vanished from her academy in Africa? I once knew someone who attended Oprah's girls' school, which had a reputation for strict discipline, harsh treatment, and missing students. She avoided speaking about her experience, but do you think something was really happening at Oprah's academy, and she knew about it all along? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, villain.